त्यक्त्वा स्वधर्मं चरणाम्बुजं हरे भजन् पक्वो तपते ततो यदि यत्कामभद्रम् अबुधमुष्य किम् को पार्थाप्तो भजतां सधर्मता. So all Prabhuji will recite together. Now Mata just will recite together. Not coming? See, we are having so many screens that are all in one use. So what does it mean? Tattvaha, having forsaken. Sadharmam, one's own occupational engagement. Charanambujam, the lotus feet. Hare, of Lord. Hare. Bhajan, in the course of devotional service. Apakvaha, immature. Tatha, for the matter of Patet, falls down. Tatha, from that place. Yadi, if Yatra, whereupon, qua, what sort of, or abhadram, unfavorable, abhut shall happen, amushya of him. Kim, nothing. Ka vartaha, what interest, aftaha, obtain, abhadatam, the non-devotee, sadharmata, being engaged in occupational service. One was translation purpose by the language of translation Prabhupada. Yeah. The one was forsaken his material occupations to engage in the devotion service of the Lord is sometimes fall down while in an immature state. Yet there is no danger of being unsuccessful. On the other hand, a non-devotee, though fully engaged in occupational duties, does not gain anything. Purport. As far as the duties of mankind are concerned, there are innumerable duties. Every man is duty mind bound not only to his parents, family members, society, country, humanity, other living beings, the demigods, etc., but also to the great philosophers, poets, scientists, etc. It is enjoined in the scriptures that one can relinquish all such duties and surrender unto the service of the Lord. So if one does so and becomes successful in the discharge of the devotional service of the Lord, it's well and good. But it so happens sometimes that one surrenders himself unto the service of the Lord by some temporary sentiment, and in the long run, due to so many other reasons, he falls on from the path of service by undesirable association. There are so many instances of this in the histories. Bharat Maharaj was obliged to take his birth as a stag due to his intimate attachment to a stag. He thought of the stag when he died. As such, in the next birth, he became a stag, although he did not forget the incident of his previous birth. Similarly, Chitketu also fell down due to his offense at the feet of Shiva. But in spite of all this, the stress is given here to surrendering unto the lotus feet of the Lord, even if there's a chance of falling down, because even though one falls down from the prescribed duty of devotional service, he will never forget the lotus feet of the Lord. Once engaged in the devotional service of the Lord, one will continue the service in all circumstances. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that even a small quantity of devotional service can save can save one from the most dangerous position. There are many instances of such examples in history. Ajamila is one of them. Ajamila in his early life was a devotee. When his youth he fell down. Still he was saved by the Lord at the Om Gyantimarandase Gyanam Janashalaya Chakshumritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manopetam Tapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Vadanti Cha Vadantikam Vande Ham Shri Guru Shita Padgamna Shri Guru Vaishnavanja Shri Rupam Sarjata Sagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Tadivam Savadetam Savadutam Parirana Chaitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Cha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasha Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Badayate Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauritaze Nama He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Sapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripire Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyacha Kripa Sindhu Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gaurabhatarenda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna. Nice to see all the devotees. I think online also we have the devotees. Raviraj, I think true. I think many devotees have not seen the message. Many of the devotees are not here. Punishok Prabhu, Aman Prabhu. Mhm. And which is voice? Is it Tirthi voice? Okay.
Ramaya voice, Prabhuji.
So today's topic is the shloka. I'll just give a context because anything you're seeing, you should see the context of the shloka before and so the context of the shloka comes from the discussion between Vyasadeva and Narad Muni. And those of you regularly attending, you may be well aware that what was the context. So Vyasadeva, after writing all the Vedas, Mahabharata, he is not satisfied. The Narad Muni comes and give him a complete change of thoughts. In our life, when our life is despondent, we need somebody to give us a change of the thoughts. And when we get a change of thoughts, life becomes better. So Vyasadeva, before meeting Narad Muni, he was despondent. He was not happy. But what change the thoughts is required to so that he feels satisfied, that was the input given by Narad Muni. Same way in our devotional service, we are performing bhakti, but only when by the grace of the Lord and some senior devotees, our change of thought patterns happen, then actually we find the greatest joys of bhakti. Like for example, with Śrīla Prabhupāda, he went to his spiritual master Bhaktivedanta Swami Thakur. Now Prabhupada was a devotee. When Prabhupada had gone, he already knew about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is already a devotee worshipping Radha and Krishna. But he thought that independence movement is more important than bhakti. But meeting his guru, his thoughts changed. Now, same way, here if you see Bhaktivedanta Swami Thakur, he's he changed the thought pattern of Srila Prabhupada. Same way Narad Muni is changing the thought pattern of Vyasadeva. So Vyasadeva thought pattern is the Vyasadeva thought pattern was that people first do their duties, first do the karma kanda, worship the devatas, and when they get purified, then they will worship God. That's the thought idea of Srila Vyasadeva. And many of us have the same idea. अभी पहले जॉब सेटल करो, फिर मैरिज सेटल करो, फिर लाइफ सेटल करो, तब भक्ति सीरियसली लेंगे. So Vyasadeva was thinking not for himself. He himself was a very himself is an incarnation of God, and whatever he thought, he practiced it. The austerities, his body will be full of austerities. Vyasadeva lived. But for giving it to others, his change of thought was required there. And same way in our life, we require a change of thought. Because somewhere or other, of having this idea of gradual development of bhakti, we get stuck. We also have that, oh, I can progress only very slowly. First, I will do this, then I can progress. And that's what Vyas they thought that first people do some karma kand, people do something, then people will make progress. Directly bhakti kyun karane ka logo ko? So that was his thought pattern. But after meeting Narad Muni says, no, 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 that's not what is the thought pattern is required. What's the thought pattern required? Direct bhakti. The thought pattern is required of direct bhakti. There. That you should not wait. You should not wait that these people will do first karma kanda, then nishkam karmi yoga, and then come to all that ladder and then come to bhakti. He said, direct give them bhakti. Direct give them bhakti. Now, in this verse, particularly, he is talking a very important concept. Now, व्यासदेव में से चलो तुमने बोल तो दिया भक्ति कर दी है लेकिन उनको फॉल डाउन हो गया तो क्या? दो केस हो सकते हैं. अगर भक्ति किया तो परफेक्शन नहीं मिला तो फिर दोबारा रीबर्थ होगा. और दूसरा केस किया अगर भक्ति करते करते किसी सिंपल एक्टिविटी में पड़ गए तो वो फॉल डाउन होगा, उसका कौन जिम्मेदारी लेगा? तो व्यासदेव इज आस्किंग ए क्वेश्चन टू नारद मुनि. आप बोल तो रहे हो डायरेक्ट भक्ति दे दो, देखो मैंने ग्रेजुअल पाथ बनाया जिससे लोगों का फॉल डाउन ना हो, लेकिन अब लोगों का फॉल डाउन होगा तो उसकी जिम्मेदारी आप लेंगे क्या? अब नारद मुनि ने बहुत अच्छा एक एक्सप्लेनेशन दिया. अरे तुम क्या सोचते हो? व्हाट डू यू थिंक? Even a people who do all their duties, what happens? Again, they take birth. So, what is the use? If after doing all the duties, people are going to take birth again, then what is the benefit of doing all the duties? Does that make sense or not? Somebody does all his family duties nicely, all his office duty nicely. Will he not take birth again? He'll take birth again. And next life again he will do all the duties. Next life again he will take care of family. Next time again he will take care of children. What is the use? So that's the logic Narad Muni is putting over here. अरे बाबा तुम इतना ड्यूटी ड्यूटी के बारे में लोगों को सिखा रहे हो लेकिन फिर अगले जन्म में आके फिर वही काम करेंगे. इस साल कर्म का इस जन्म में कर्म कांड करेंगे, अगले जन्म में कर्म कांड करेंगे, क्या फायदा? बट ऑन द अदर हैंड somebody takes to somebody takes to डिवोशनल सर्विस. कोई जो है भक्ति को लेता है. तो भक्ति इज इटर्नल, कर्म इज नॉट इटर्नल. आपने आज कर्म किया कल नष्ट हो गया. Whatever, even you acquire many degrees, somebody became a PhD, somebody became a CEO of a company. अब नेक्स्ट लाइफ में जब पैदा होगा तो ये टैग लेके किसमें पैदा होगा कि PhD साहब डॉक्टर साहब पैदा हो गए करके. फिर से नर्सरी जाना पड़ेगा नहीं जाना पड़ेगा? कोई ऐसा बच्चा देखा है जो नर्सरी नहीं जाता हो? नर्सरी जाना कंपलसरी है नहीं है कंपलसरी करके? कुछ ऐसा स्कूल हो देखो हम पिछले जन्म के PhD डॉक्टर्स को ढूंढते हैं, आज डायरेक्ट डायरेक्ट डॉक्टरेट मिल जाएगा तुम्हें PhD नर्सरी. सबको नर्सरी जाना पड़ेगा. तुम कंपनी के CEO बन जाओ. अब 3 साल का बच्चा देखा है कोई CEO जाके बैठ गया कंपनी का, मैं पिछले जन्म में CEO था मैं वहीं से कंटिन्यू करूंगा? ऐसा नहीं होता. तो कितना भी धर्म करो फिर वापस फिर से गाड़ी वहां चालू हो जाती है. बट भक्ति में ऐसा नहीं होता. भक्ति में ऐसा नहीं होता. आपने इसका वीडियो देखा होगा भागवत. एक छोटा बच्चा है भागवत करके, देखा है वीडियो उसका भागवत का? वो क्या गजब का बोलता है. बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन क्या गजब का करता है एकदम. और लोग ऐसे बोलते हैं, लोग एकदम हैरान रह जाते हैं हंसते हंसते. और बच्चा बोलता है बड़ी बात तो हंसते हंसते लोग ले भी लेते हैं क्योंकि छोटा बच्चा बोल रहा है. छोटा बच्चा थोड़ा हैवी डोज भी देते तो लोग ले लेते हैं हंस हंस के उसको करके. तो उसकी भक्ति वहां नहीं गई, जो वो छोड़ के गया था लास्ट टाइम पे वहीं से चालू कर रहा है करके. अभी हरविंदर ने मुझे फोटो भेजा अपने बेटे का, वो शंख बजा रहा है करके. तो पिछले जन्म में कोई पुजारी रहा होगा अभी शंख बजाते हुए पैदा हुआ है करके. और छोटे छोटे बच्चे, अरे हमारे बड़े बड़े डिवोटीज को मृदंगा नहीं बजाना सीखते, छोटे छोटे 3 साल के बच्चे मृदंग बजाने लगते हैं. तो वॉट एवर यू डू इन भक्ति विल नेवर गेट लॉस्ट And whatever do in material life will anyway get lost. And that's what the logic Narad Muni is telling. Ki whatever you do in bhakti, that will never get lost. And whatever you do in material life will not help you in the next life. So where is the loss? If somebody did devotional service and he couldn't continue, then where is the loss? Okay. Sometimes when people become in a young age, people become renounced. So many may say, अरे अगर बाद में इसकी इच्छा हुई कि 40 साल पे शादी करेगा then what? ठीक है 10 साल तो आश्रम में रहा 15 साल तो आश्रम में रहा 15 साल तो पूरी भक्ति करी उसने करके where is the loss? Now somebody got married and whole life he took his responsibility. What is the use? So if we see from an eternity point of view, whatever bhakti we take, it has a great importance, and whatever material duties we do are limited to this life. Are limited to this life. So this is the paksha of the this verse. Now let us put the other side of the thought also. Because in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is speaking about. So I'll put the other side of thought, and then I will tell the analogy of one story of Ratnavali Dasi. And then we compare how the things are happening in actuality. And what is the other point of thought? Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur puts, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Na buddhi bhedam jayeda jnanam karma sanginam yojeta sarva karamani vidaman yukta samacharam. Okay, I'll share this. The wise man should not disturb the intelligence of the ignorant attached to the results of work. Engaging in all work himself with detachment, he should engage them in activity. So wise man should not disturb the intelligence of the ignorant person. Remember this Krishna says that? Don't unsettle people. Because what happens? Now if you see in Bhagavad Gita if you see, Krishna many times have condemned premature renunciation. Whole third chapter also and fifth chapter also. And Krishna has so first I said the Narad Muni thought, now I'm talking about Krishna's thought. And then how to understand both the thoughts. Now Krishna talks about, you see, if people, their mind and senses are not purified and they go for premature renunciation, they become pretender. मन में तो भोग की इच्छा है और बाहर में साधु बन के बैठे हैं और फिर वही सोसाइटी में प्रॉब्लम्स भी करते हैं करके सो प्री मैच्योर रिनाउंसिएशन एंड ही सेज बेटर देन प्री मैच्योर रिनाउंसिएशन यू डू कर्म योगा यू डू कर्म योगा first get and do karma yoga without expectation of without attachment to results and offer your results to Krishna, get free from doership, control your senses, then slowly you will come to renunciation. And both, and in the sixth chapter also, Krishna concludes this only. One who is a Nishkam Karma Yogi, he is a sannyasi and he is a yogi, not a person who lights no fire. So it's a complete opposite thought or not? अब now नारद मुनि का thought better है या कृष्ण का thought better? What do you say? Which thought to be? Which is the right then? How many of you always get confused between these two thoughts of line? You get confused, right? अरे अभी तो देखो हमने प्रूव किया कि ड्यूटीज करके कोई फायदा नहीं है भक्ति करो और अभी भगवान बोल रहे हैं कि अरे ज्यादा प्री मैच्योर रिनाउंसिएशन मत करो वरना परेशान हो जाओगे तो ये जो चीज होती है ऑलवेज कीप ट्रेवलिंग द माइंड्स ऑफ डिवोटीज इन द स्टेज ऑफ व्यूड विकल्पा की and this व्यूड विकल्पा come in a life of a boy also who is not married to marry or not marry. This व्यूड विकल्पा can come in the life of a grihastha also who is already married. So how much seriously take care of family responsibilities. So this is a stage of Vyuna Vikalpa. Now, Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur says, see, when Krishna is talking about that don't unsettle people from karma to jnana path. Don't unsettle people from karma to jnana path. Now, what does jnana path means and what bhakti path means? See, there are only three paths in this world: karma, jnana, or bhakti. There's no other path. Yoga comes in jnana only, in one sense. So, there is no other path. So, see, if suppose somebody gives up karma and to jnana, but he doesn't have the sattva guna to be fixed in jnana, he will fall to sense gratification. And that's why Krishna says this. But here Narad Muni is not talking about jnana pada. He's talking about bhakti. In jnana, the senses are not engaged. So if senses have a tendency to do sense gratification, person will fall down. क्यों? क्योंकि सेंसेस एंगेज नहीं है, अपना कर्म छोड़ दिया उसने, तो सेंसेस डिसएंगेज हो गए। अब सेंस कहाँ जाएंगे? सिन पे जाएंगे, नहीं जाएंगे। इसलिए देखिए, आप कितने ट्रेन में घूमते हुए साधु देखेंगे, बीड़ी फूक रहे हैं, वो सब कर रहे हैं। क्यों? उन्होंने अपना कर्म तो छोड़ दिया, लेकिन सेंसेस एंगेज नहीं किए, तो सेंसेस सिन में जा रहे। बट भक्ति पाथ में क्या होता है? पहले सेंसेस एंगेज होते हैं, बाद में कर्म को छोड़ा जाता है। जब सेंसेस भगवान की सेवा में एंगेज हो जाते हैं, तो वो कर्म, देखो कर्म का फैक्टर क्या है? आपकी इच्छा है, तो आप सेंसेस को कर्म में लगाओ, आपकी इच्छा भी पूरी होगी। और क्योंकि आप कर्म में सेंसेस को एंगेज कर रहे हो वर्णाश्रम प्रणाली में, in a varnashram way, where object is to satisfy the Lord by your duties, you are gradually getting purified. Are you getting this point? You are gradually getting purified because you're putting the senses with this. But now what happens? What happens with bhakti? Bhakti purifies the senses more faster because it direct connects you to Krishna. In one ashrama, you get purified when you offer the results to Krishna. But in bhakti, the moment you start the activities, you get purified. So bhakti automatically purifies the senses of the devotee. Therefore, if somebody leaves his karma and full-time engaged in devotion service, there is no loss. In fact, it is a superior engagement. And that's why Narad is telling, I directly engage people in bhakti. There. There. But sometimes it may happen that even after a person is doing bhakti, he may slip. Example is Bharat Maharaj. He has left the forest and he was also doing a bhakta. But what happened? He became attached to a deer. But if person started bhakti, even he got a full-time bhakti, full dedicated bhakti, but even in due course of time, he falls down. At the end, he is victorious. And let's see three examples of Bharat Maharaj, Jataketu, and Ajamil, which is quoted in the purport. Which is quoted in the purport. And that is why you see, Srila Prabhupada, during Prabhupada's time, they were full-time brahmacharis, full-time grihasthas. The concept of congregation came later. Even brahmacharis also stay in the temple, and man and woman, those who are married, they also stay in the temple. Man stays separately, woman stays separately. That's the way ISKCON started. Full-time devotees. There are no part-time devotees. But eventually what happened, the children education became very difficult of the grihasthas and raising. Then it was said, okay, better is go outside the congregation and come to temple. And that's where the congregation. And now ISKCON is 99.9% is congregation. Only 0.1% may be full-time devotee there currently. So, but the whole concept of Prabhupada started the full-time devotees give everything. Even you're a grahastha, full-time serve Krishna. And now what today's situation is coming, either you directly become brahmachari full-time, or even as a grahastha complete your duties, have sufficient savings so that you're economically independent. Economically you don't depend upon ISKCON. And when you're economically independent, then you can full-time serve. So that your family duties are also taken care. But the whole point is engaging one's mind and senses in Krishna's service fully. Because when you engage mind and senses in bhakti, it purifies faster. When it is engaged in karma yoga, it is slow. Now, what Śrīla Prabhupāda has done, he has also put a lot of activities which is like karma yoga, which is bhakti, but also engage like karma yoga. For example, preaching, book distribution. They're direct bhakti, but there's a lot of activity in that. There's a lot of activity. Like how many of you feel whole day you can chant and read Bhagavatam? Very difficult. But how many of you will? If you have a combination of whole day classes, book distribution, Harinam, preaching programs, vessel washing, cooking, you can do it. And that all is Bhakti Yoga. So Prabhupada has given such a program that whole day you can be engaged. And you say, तू इतना सेवा तो खत्म ही नहीं होता है. इतना सेवा है, खत्म ही नहीं होता है. Raj Shampoo says, if only we can get 26 hours in a day, so much preaching could be done. 24 hours is also not sufficient. And last 1 week had been so hectic for me. I felt, my God, day by day, so many things were there. And now also so many pending services are there. I think for the day a little bit extend, so you could complete this. But it's good to have more services than you can do, so that there is no time to think of Maya. And that's what the bhakti does. There, when you're engaged nicely, you forget about the world. Forget about the world. And engagement should not be only passionate. There should be direct Krishna's answer. Like speaking about Krishna, there, hearing about Krishna. So in the morning I'm giving class, now 10:45 to 2, I have to attend one class for this whole week, Monday to Friday. Then evening we have to go. So whole life is engaged with the process of Shravan and Kirtan. So this, to the degree we engage ourselves in this 9 process of bhakti, bhakti becomes very joyful. So there should be no time. There should be no time left for Maya. And time only should be for Krishna consciousness. And that's what make a devotee very, very powerful with them. And that's what I say, don't worry. The, our duties are properly taken care, not taken care. But engage in bhakti yoga nicely. And the minimum balance is what? The wife and children should be happy at the home. They should not be crying. Their basic needs are taken care. And because, see, we also have not become that absorbed bhakta where we can just let off the world. And you get my point? We have not become to that stage where we can just let off the world. The world is crying and we will absorb in Krishna, like Tukaram Maharaj, Narsingh Mehta. These people got so absorbed in Shravan Kirtan, they forget about their family also. Narsingh Mehta had gone. Narsingh Mehta's daughter's marriage was there after 4 days. And he didn't have any money only. So he went for collecting some money for that कि बेटी की शादी हो जाएगी. On the way भागवत कथा चल रही थी और वो वहां भागवत कथा में बैठ गए और 7 दिन की कथा भूल गए सब कुछ. कथा में इतने मग्न हो गए मत गुण श्रुति मात्रे ना कि वो भूल गए कि बेटी की शादी है. और 7 दिन बाद जब कथा खत्म हो जा रही, क्या हो गया, देखो कि अब बेटी की शादी के लिए मैं आया था, क्या हो गया. और जब गए तो सब बड़ा धन्यवाद कर रहे हैं. अरे आपने क्या दावत करी, आपने क्या आपने क्या दावत करी, क्या अच्छी शादी हुई, तो क्या हो गया. भैया ने, अरे आपने इतना पैसा लेकर आए ना, सब खर्च किए. पता लगा तो भगवान खुद उसकी शादी, बेटी की शादी करा दी. क्यों अनन्य चिंतन तमाम ये जना परिपासते तेषां नित्य भक्तानां योगक्षेमं वाम्यम्. So when we become that level of devotee, then there is no point of duty also. Krishna will take care. But till that time, we don't let off go that much. We have to do basic duties of the life and plan your life so that the duties remain basic. They don't increase more and more. And with that basic duties, one should only give his mind and life to Krishna consciousness. And one of the very thing important helps is the Brahmanical engagements. If you see, the Vedic tradition is about engaging our mind and senses through Brahmanical way. A Brahmana will have only 6 things to do: Patan, Patan, Yadan, Yajan, Dan, Pratingrah. Now, when you do Patan, Patan, he's talking about the scriptures, reading the scriptures, and he's doing Yagya, Or in Kali Yuga, it is Sankirtan Yajna. He is chanting the holy names, teaching others to chant, and he takes donation, and whatever excess donation comes, he gives. This is a function of Brahmana. But because this Patan Patan Yajna directly connects him to Krishna, because it directly connects him to Krishna. So what happens because of that? His consciousness is elevated. And a time comes where he can be fully absorbed in Krishna. The same way, as the time progresses, devotee also should increase his Brahmanical absorption. Because in Brahmanical absorption, you can easily give up the karmas of this world, like preaching, Harinam Sankirtan, book distribution, there. So these are Brahmanical absorption. So as a devotee's life is progressing, first initial years one should do a lot of hard seva, like book distribution, cleaning, pot washing, cooking, driving. This kind of hard services one should do in the nature, where he develops a bhav of I am a servant. And after he develops this bhav, I am a servant, then a devotee should take up the Brahmanical engagement. So in the Brahmanical engagement, uh, a devotee should more spend time with Bhagavatam, in preaching there. And when he gets at that taste, he can give up his work altogether and fully engage in Krishna. So that way the transition should happen in a person's life. So even somebody who's joining Brahmachari ashram should do preaching for some years and develop a taste for preaching. Because with the freedom of ashram, one will able to utilize that freedom of ashram when he has a taste for preaching. There. I've seen brahmacharis have a taste for preaching. You leave them. They will create 10, 20, 30, 50 devotees. And they will utilize their time very nicely. But if a devotee doesn't have a time for preaching, then you have to pull away, take care. Away, he's doing this, he's doing that, and he's do that there. So developing taste for Brahmanical activities helps a lot. Or even Pujari Seva, deity services there. Same way, somebody wants to become from Grihastha to Vanaprastha. He should develop taste again for Brahmanical activities. Preaching, reading Bhagavatam, discussing Krishna Katha, worshipping the deities, book distribution. So then, because when he lives his life, he has something higher thing to do there. So therefore, it's very, very important before renunciation, we should give taste for Brahmanical activities to devotees. And now why Brahmanical activities? Once my Sister Master said, see those who are pujaris and cooks, they should also learn to give classes. Because when your body becomes old, you can't do much cooking. Even Pujari service is doing more. But you can always talk to people, counsel people, and do. And that's at every stage of life you can do this there. So therefore, engaging, giving taste for devotees in Brahmanical services is very important. And that Brahmanical services will lead to mature renunciation in life there. In mature renunciation. And that's why in a Vedic life also, you have only Brahmana will take sannyas, either a Grasta Brahmana or a Brahmachari Brahmana. The Kshatriyas, Vaishya, Shudras won't take sannyas. Why? Because the renunciation becomes stable only when person has Brahmanical nature. Otherwise, in Rajagun, Tamagun, anytime person can fall down. So developing this Brahmanical nature is very, very important for mature and stable renunciation there. So this to the degree we have the Brahmanical engagements, you see this Brahmanical engagement first of all connects you a lot to. See, now I'm speaking about Bhagavatam. So is it easy to remember Krishna, isn't it? There. When it's speaking Bhagavatam. There. The there. Or if I'm reading Bhagavatam or you're hearing Bhagavatam, it's a Brahmanical. See, hearing is also Brahmanical engagement, not speaking there. Pathan. So you should develop a liking. Okay, I can sit for hours together and hear the class. We should develop this stamina there. So like those devotees who are coming every day morning and hearing class, they become very stable in Krishna consciousness there. There. So eagerness to care about Krishna there. Eagerness to do Sankirtan also. अरे शाम को कीर्तन चल रहा है प्रभु कीर्तन में टाइम वेस्ट होगा मेरे को बहुत सारी चीजें करनी है okay so even you have time you will cut short there. Now, develop a taste for Sankirtan because This is only going to give you perfection. So take out time to do Brahman. And of course, your seva. And another thing, if you're doing vessel washing, do vessel washing, play a nice kirtan. Or do kirtan while playing leadership. So basically, we should become absorbed in the holy name and Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, then we'll attain the success of life, attain the perfection of life, and that's not the renunciation will automatically happen. And there's another one telling what is the use of doing all the duties? What gain person gains it? Nothing. And that's what Śrīmad Bhāgavatam again on the shloka says, Na utpadiyed yatha rathim shamevi kevalam. Agar if your work doesn't allows you to come and hear Bhagavatam, what is the use of your work? If your office job doesn't allow you to hear Śrīmad Bhagavatam only, then what is the use of such a job? You get the point. But you're getting a chance to hear Śrīmad Bhagavatam, then work is useful because anybody has to work to maintain his body and soul together. But that work should also lead to increase the rati. So those of you who have come for this Bhagavatam class, there's a whole purpose of your doing work which allow you to hear Śrīmad Bhagavatam, Glory to the Supreme. And that's very amazing. There. So therefore, now, until the time devotees are in bachelor life, it's very easy. But married life, you have to make priorities. There. And brahmachari life, even you don't want, you're pushed to attend Bhagavatam. Because somebody will take attendance. Right? You can't miss out. If you miss, somebody will call you, Prabhu, what happened? Some devotee will there. But in marriage, once you get married, you have to have your own conscious choice to come here, Śrīmad Bhagavatam, because there are so many duties in Kali Yuga there. So, yeah, there. And what happens because person has not cultivated a habit of hearing Bhagavatam during his married life, even after 50 also he doesn't come and sit here Bhagavatam. How many people above 50 you see hearing Bhagavatam? You don't see because they have not cultivated that habit 25 to 50 also. Then how after 50 they will hear? Of course, Mataji is glorious. She's coming every day for the. So that is what the Vanaprastha life is. Huh? Wait. But see, so many people are free. Hmm. Yes. So Mata is free. But see how many Vanaprasthas are there? Mataji is alone attending. Yes, yes. So Yeah. So now, because people have not practiced, now in ISKCON, Vanaprastha ashram is completely extinct. You know why? Because during Rasta time, they work so hard, they forget to engage them in Brahmanical activities. Then when they can actually give job also, they feel, अगर मैं job दे दूंगा तो करूंगा क्या? Because they have not developed a taste for Brahmanical activity. So therefore, one has to increase his how to practically practice this verse. Not that सब कुछ छोड़ छाड़ के मंदिर में आ जाओ. First, increase a taste for Brahmanical absorption. In scriptures, holy name, preaching, sankirtan. And when that absorption is level, when you give up your work after completing your duties there, when you do work, it becomes a very smooth transition and you make a very fast spiritual progress. And that's what happens with the beauty of Krishna consciousness, that it leads to a fast rate of progress. So let us see the story of Ratnavali Dasi. So there was a brahmachari named Raghav Das. So at the age of 12 only his father has committed suicide. So at the age of 13, 14 he came and joined the temple. there. No, something 18, 17, 18, he joined the temple. 54 he was born and 73 he died. At 99, 19 years he died. He stayed in the temple for 1 year. And those days, it's not that 4 or 5 years you practice, then join the temple. You just come in and walk in. Today you walk in the temple, just stay in the temple. Till the time you want. And वहीं join हो गया, वहीं saffron मिल गया, वहीं सब हो गया. That's those ISKCON was like that in 70s there. So he joined the temple and he learned chanting and his favorite service was doing Harinam Sankirtan. And he would go to London temple also. He would go to London temple also to do, he joined in Edinburgh temple, Edinburgh. But he will go to London and meet Tribhunath Prabhu to do Sankirtan, this devotee, Raghav Das. And, uh, but only thing, he was little attracted to one Mataji who would come to the center there. And see, those days, the girls also would stay, Brahmacharini ashram and all those concepts were there. And one thing is good, we have yoga above where no Matajis can come. So we have a separate, there. But even in US also, there is still in Boston temple, there Brahmacharini will stay and Brahmacharis also stay there. But in India, that way, one thing is good, Brahmacharini ashram. Yeah. So, so because one Mataji would come and he was little attracted to that Mataji there, and he will feel very uncomfortable in the presence of that Mataji. But one time, this Raga Das he got initiated by Prabhupada, but Yajna did not happen. The next day of initiation also he died in a car accident. One Prabhu was driving the car and he fell asleep. Because devotees don't used to take proper rest in the night, there were so many services. He fell asleep during driving. And while he fell asleep during driving, that Prabhu got saved, but Raghav Das died. And next life, he became a Mataji because he died thinking of that Mataji whom was attracted to. So be very careful. If you keep thinking of some Mataji, if you die today, you may get that body only. So don't think of a girl, very dangerous. So we don't know when death will come. So if you don't want next life, and this is a real story. Uh, no, no, I'm not saying this. नहीं 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 let me complete the story, then you will realize it. हाँ, नहीं भगवान ने ऐसा कुछ नहीं बोला है. हाँ, हाँ, नहीं, देखिए ऐसा नहीं है. अच्छा मैं आपको प्रॉपर ठीक है अभी थोड़ा मैं इस स्टोरी का थोड़ा डिटूर लेके आपके क्वेश्चन को आंसर करता हूँ पहले. देखिए आपको पूरा ट्रेडिशनली चीज़ों को समझना पड़ेगा. ट्रेडिशनली चीज़ों को समझना पड़ेगा. जो ट्रेडिशनली जो सत्युग वगैरह में होता था तो आप ज्ञान मार्ग पे जाकर तपस्या कर कर अपनी आत्मा को एलिवेट करते हो. राइट. उसके लिए क्या होता है आपके अपने मूलाधार चक्र को ऊपर उठाना पड़ता है. और वो सिस्टम जो है एक मेल बॉडी में ही पॉसिबल है. हाँ. इसलिए कभी आपने सुना है कि माता जी योगी बन गई हैं, संन्यास ले लिया है? नहीं होता. क्यों? वो फीमेल बॉडी में पॉसिबल नहीं है. वो सिर्फ मेल बॉडी में पॉसिबल है. इसलिए जो ज्ञान मार्ग है और ये सब जो मार्ग है ये सब ब्रह्मचार्य जब फॉलो होगा तभी. ब्रह्मचार्य जो है मेल बॉडी में पॉसिबल है. और बिकॉज वो मेल बॉडी में पॉसिबल है तो ये सब मार्ग जो है एक मेल बॉडी के लिए बने. देखिए सोल तो प्योर है लेकिन ये मार्ग का जो लिमिटेशन है ये मार्ग केवल मेल बॉडी पे एक्ट कर सकते हैं. ये मार्ग फीमेल बॉडी पे एक्ट नहीं कर सकते. अब देखिए सोल तो ना तो फीमेल है ना मेल है. आई एम ए सोल इन मेल बॉडी और सोल इन फीमेल बॉडी. तो सोल तो प्योर है. तो जो वैदिक पाथ होता था उसमें ये होता था कि स्त्री जो है पति की सेवा करती थी. अगर अच्छे से सेवा करती थी तो अगले जन्म में उसको मेल शरीर मिलता था. फिर यौगिक पाथ को फॉलो करके फिर वो परफेक्शन को जाती थी करके. तो इसलिए बताया था कि स्त्री को जो है स्त्री शुड बी चेस्ट टू हिज हस्बैंड. वुमेन शुड बी चेस्ट टू हस्बैंड. and then by service to husband she will grow. And if the husband is a yogi and a husband dies, and if the wife becomes sati with the husband, she also can go back to Godhead. Like Archie went with Prithu Maharaj there, whether we went with Malyadhwaj. So there are examples like this there in the Vedic thought. Now, what Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, in the path of bhakti, there is no such limitation. Because path of bhakti acts on the soul, so there is no need of Muladhara Chakra and all this to raise. Krishna says, I personally come and takes my devotees. So whether you're a female, whether you're a male, it does not matter. Same way the Shudra body also, because from childhood they won't follow Brahmacharya. Even they are unqualified for practicing this yoga. And most of the people in Kali Yuga, whether it's male or female, are unqualified for practicing this yoga because nobody follows Brahmacharya from childhood. Are you getting my point? So only bhakti is the only way in Kali Yuga. Because only one who has followed rigid brahmacharya from childhood can practice this yoga. Anybody who has broken the vow of celibacy cannot practice, cannot raise the chakras again there. And that's why there is so much problems happening in complications today there. So therefore, Krishna says bhakti is the path. And Kali Yuga mein bhakti ka hi path hai Sankirtan ka. Isme male, female, old people doesn't matter anything. Are you getting this point there? There. Does it clarify traditional understanding and today's ISKCON understanding? In ISKCON, it doesn't distinguish between male or female. Bhakti is for all. But the culture, the Varnashrama culture has been set on this purpose. In fact, female in one sense are greater than males because males get birth from females only. See, females are not there. Will there be good men? There will be no men only. So maa to janani hai. The female, they have very high energy. If it is used properly in bhakti, in fact, most of the ISKCON devotees, first Mataji become devotees, then Prabhuji become devotees. Prabhuji is busy watching cricket, whereas Mataji is interested in the Bhagavad Gita. Okay. So, if there's an example of Kunti Maharani also. She's such a beautiful, wonderful devotee. Krishna is so merciful to him. She's the mother of the Pandavas there. So don't see from a discrimination point of view, understand from a technical arrangement point of view. Now it made sense to you there. If I for all the yogic paths, the male body is being studied there. Ah. And no problem, I'll repeat. Let Prabhu speak. Ah. Of the husband goes to the wife. Yeah. No, but that's not the answer to her question because that way also you are making female dependent on the male only, no? They want it. Ah. Okay, so let's not go in a debate here. It's a Bhagavatam class. The whole point is let's practice bhakti. And bhakti means putting ourselves dependent on Krishna. Krishna is our supreme pati. Krishna is our husband. And Jiva is always Prakriti. Krishna is only Purusha. आठ सब एकला ईश्वर Krishna, आठ सब भक्त हैं. So let us come out of the bodily consciousness. To identify ourselves with female is also bodily consciousness. There. One time, Prabhupada said women are less intelligent. And Prabhupada, one disciple came. Prabhupada, you're telling women are less intelligent. Prabhupada said, if you think you're a woman, you're less intelligent. अरे मैंने इतना पढ़ा है not his body, spirit, soul. Still you're thinking yourself as woman. So you're less intelligent. हाँ. नहीं नहीं, see. Yes, yes, yes. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Yes, yes. This is very great. Yes. Uh, so what we're saying is true, but what Prabhupada was giving example here, let's not identify whether we are male or female. When you come to Krishna consciousness, you come above bodily identification. Are you able to understand this point? Don't think you're a female, or don't think you're a male. Understand your spirit soul part and parcel of Krishna. But since we are living in this world, let us observe the culture of this world. If what is the culture for a female body, observe that. What is the culture of a male body? Observe that. So it's not about inferiority and superiority. Is it you are in a body, it has a particular function. Only female bodies can give birth to a child. Male body cannot give birth. Right, isn't it? So then the females are superior. So because females can give birth, there are restrictions, there are some code of conduct, how female should stay in the society, how male should stay in the society. So let us follow those conducts given in the Vedas, and this whatever body we are will achieve perfection with that body. Are you getting my point? Yes. So let's not make it an ego issue, which is better, which is inferior. Following the dharma given in the Shastra, in which particular body we are, will achieve perfection. Because for Lord, there is no male or female. He is beyond male and female, isn't it? Now, if Vedas are given by the Lord, and if we follow the Vedas given by the Lord, we are following the Lord. So whatever body we are in, we are following it, we make a spiritual advancement. Does that make sense there? So now, because he remembered this Ratnavali, this Raghav Das, a woman, next life he became a woman there. But this life she became a serious devotee. So what happened? She got a, you would have heard that how she got a, Paramatma saved him. That she wanted to, somebody came to beat her, and then a voice came from the heart that you run away. And she ran away. And later she got a Bhagavad Gita from a ISKCON devotee. She started reading Bhagavad Gita and she saw the ISKCON temple address. She came to temple and when she saw the first time deities of Radha Nandeshwar, tears came in her eyes that this was the person who saved my life. And then she became a devotee. And now again, her service was to do Sankirtan with Tiruvanath Prabhu. This Raghav Das would do Sankirtan with Tiruvanath Prabhu. And this life also, his service, her service was doing. Now she will think I am a female and Tiruvanath Prabhu is male, so she will keep distant. Tirunasa said, while doing Sankirtan, don't be in bodily consciousness. And he would treat him like a brahmachari only in there. And one time, one brahmachari was mistreating her, Ratnavali Dasi. And he went to his spiritual master, Maharaj, one Mandar is mistreating her. And Maharaj said, last life, you may be brahmachari mistreating a Mataji. He just made a comment like that. Now she will get a lot of dreams in which she got an accident and she's died. Then she went to regression. She went through a regression of his life, the past life regression. And she saw actually she was a brahmachari named Raghav Das who died in a car accident. Then she found out was there any proper disciple who died before his death. Then she came to know it was Raghav Das there. And then he met the Prabhu from whom accident had happened, through whom the accident had happened through of Raghav Das. So when he met, when he met that Prabhu, he was in great guilt because of him one devotee died. When he saw that he is back, Raghav Das is back, then he was very, very happy. Who was happy? That Prabhuji was happy there. And then she found, and she went to the temple where it's her skirt and thing. And this is narrated, this story narrated by her only there. She's still living in London. If anybody goes to London, you can meet her, this lady there. So now what it shows, all this pastime, what it shows that how Krishna consciousness is not lost. So he gave up everything and stayed in the temple for 1 year. Again, this life that came with him there. But whatever metal achievement one achieves, that doesn't come with him, and therefore Krishna consciousness is the best thing. And now this life she has become such a serious devotee, I don't want another life. So she has become a very serious devotee. So right, so Krishna consciousness does not depend upon what body you have. Of course, you need a human body at least. Right. So it doesn't depend what body we are, what caste we are born in, what. Then it depends on our sincere devotion to Krishna, because Krishna is all merciful. So this verse is saying, let us give full focus to Krishna consciousness, then getting distracted into enjoyments of this world. There. And that's what Nanamas enthusiasts. They don't make a plan for gradual elevation to people, make a full-fledged plan for people to perform Krishna consciousness and go back to God in one lifetime. That's what Nanamas said. Okay, any questions now? Yes. So Mataji is a question about caste system, right? See, uh, no, see, what you say is correct. Kalo shudrum sambhavat sanskarit bhavet tuja. So what makes a person tuja is the sanskaras. Now I will tell you what is the science behind this varnashrama. We don't call it caste system, we call it varna and ashrama. Now people have different nature. Somebody likes to read scriptures, somebody likes to go for martial arts, somebody likes to go for money, somebody eat food and take rest. So people have different. So when people want to identify whose nature is what, they will keep books, Bhagavatam scriptures, they will keep weapons, and they will keep money, and they will keep food. So when Pandavas also married Draupadi, they were not knowing, they were doubtful whether really Brahmanas or not. So Draupadi kept all the things. Pandavas went to weapons because they're Kshatriyas, but devotees of the Lord. Right? They are Kshatriyas, but the devotees of the Lord. So they took pick the weapon. They didn't went for picking up Bhagavatam. There. Now, in the same way, you see, the Brahmanas will choose what? If somebody is a Brahmana in nature, he'll choose a scripture. He'll not choose it. Somebody is a Shudra, he will choose food. उसको बाकी चीजों से मतलब. Somebody is a Vaishya, he will go and pick up the wealth there. And this tendencies will come from a childhood only. And based on those tendencies, person will become Shudra, Vaishya there. So it is by Guna and Karma, not birth. But what used to happen in earlier times? Not even pre-time, even before Yudhishthir Maharaj, what used to happen that there will be no intercaste marriages. Brahmana boy will marry a Brahman girl only, and they will do proper Garbhadhan sanskar. So it was very likely in a home of a Brahmana, Brahmana is only born. And Shudras will not do any sanskar. Garbhadhan sanskar they will not do. So then naturally they will have Shudras only born because without Garbhadhan sanskar, the people will be of not very good quality. And Vaishyas will also do Garva Sanskar. And generally, in their house, the Vaishyas. But in case they have a Brahminical nature, in a house the Vaishya, if a Brahminical nature is there, then he could become Brahmana by right training. Same way, if in a house of a Brahmana person is born, but who doesn't like Brahminical culture, he will call Tuj Bandhu, Brahm Bandhu. He'll not call Brahmana, he'll call Brahm Bandhu. Like that, he will call. Same way, somebody is born in a Kshatriya family doesn't have it, he will call Shatra Bandhu there. So therefore, it is based on the guna and karma, not by birth. By birth, कलो शूद्रम संभवा. कलयुग में सब कुछ शुद्र है. लेकिन कोई गुरु पिकअप करके हमको रेस कर देता है तो बात अलग है. अभी देखिए ब्राह्मण के बच्चे भी क्या करते हैं. स्मोकिंग करने ब्राह्मण के बच्चे भी आजकल देखते हैं. वो भी यूएस जा रहे हैं. क्या वो ब्राह्मण थोड़ी ना हुए, वो तो शूद्र का ही काम कर रहे हैं. तो इसलिए आज के डेट में हम कृष्ण कॉन्शियस में यही सबको ब्राह्मणिकल. तो आपका कोई कास्ट क्या है, सबको ब्राह्मणिकल ट्रेनिंग देते हैं कि सब जो है परमानेंट जो गोल ऑफ लाइफ है उसकी तरफ बढ़े. राइट? डज इट आंसर योर क्वेश्चन? डज इट आंसर योर क्वेश्चन? अंडरस्टूड? हाँ. And we do all those basic topics for all our boys before doing this. Even in the morning, Sunday morning sessions, I have spoke many times about this thing there. But it's good. this clarification scheme. Because many things in Bhagavatam, it will come like this. And we may not understand why it is spoken like this. And we may see with a discriminatory eye what is happening in the today's society today. There. But the Krishna consciousness is very pure. It's not to meet somebody down, somebody up. It's meant to elevate everybody from the position and the situation they are in. Are you getting it? Okay. So I think it's already 8:36. Okay, last question. Okay. Pathan, Pathan, Yajan, Yajan, Dan, Panika is Brahmin. Cooking is also Brahminical activity. Prasadam serving is also Brahminical activity. Prabhupada quotes many places, some of the books, where the six activities are told about Brahmana. Pathan, Pathan, Yajan, Yajan, Dan. I think many Prabhupada lectures you will find this. There. Pathan means reading scriptures. And Pathan means लोगों को पढ़ाना. Pathan, Pathan. Yajan means संकीर्तन करना and जप करना. And यजन याजन दूसरों का यजमान बन के दूसरों को संकीर्तन कराना या दूसरों को यज्ञ कराना. And दान लेना और एक्सेस चैरिटी को वापस दूसरों को दे देने का. So this are the six duties of a Brahmana. No Brahmana goes to software company. Only Shudras go to software company. Because you take a salary. You have a deadline. Brahmanas don't have deadline. Sankirtan, chanting, reading scriptures, attending Bhagavatam class, serving prasadam to devotees. Serving prasadam to devotees is a Brahmanical activity. And washing vessels and cleaning toilets is a Vaishnava activity. Only Vaishnava does it. Because it makes him humble. So washing pots and cleaning toilet is higher than Brahmanical activities also. You're getting the point. Cleaning the temple hall, washing pots. Vaishnava activity. See, when you do it for Krishna, it's not Shudra activity. Right? When you do it for Krishna, it becomes transcendental. When you do for money, it becomes Shudra activity. That's why you will find those laborers who do hard work, they will smoke also, intoxicate also. Right? But devotees don't do that because they're already Brahmanas. The following four regular principle makes you a Brahmana. It brings you in mode of goodness, following four regular principle. And that's why strict four regular principle following is there. But you ask laborers to follow four regular principle, not possible. जब तक वो थोड़ा फूकेंगे नहीं उनके जान नहीं आएगा काम करने का. But devotees don't work on that power. They're doing it in devotion. So therefore it's not a Shudra activity. And you should transcend the four varnas before becoming Vaishnava. A Brahmana will say, no, no, cleaning is not my job. Washing pot is not my job. But a Vaishnava will not say that. That's why Vaishnava is higher than a Brahmana. So when you become a Vaishnava, you don't identify with Brahmana also. You're ready to do anything what pleases Krishna. And in spiritual world, there are no Brahmanas. कि तुम पठन पाठन करो, हाँ पठन पाठन की जरूरत नहीं है. Whatever Krishna pleases Krishna, you do that. That's why to go to spiritual world, you have to give up the identification of a Brahmana. That's why when you do deity worship, what mantra we chant? ना हम विप्रो न च नरपति न वैश्य न शूद्रो. ना मैं ब्राह्मण हूँ, ना मैं क्षत्रिय हूँ, न वैश्य न शूद्रो. तो मैं क्या हूँ? गोपे भट्टो पद कम दास दास अनुरा. मैं सर्वेंट ऑफ द सर्वेंट, द सर्वेंट ऑफ द गोपीज. तो हम कौन है? भगवान कृष्ण की गोपियों के दासों के दासों के दास, दासन दास. ये हमारी पोजीशन. ना मैं स्त्री हूं ना मैं पुरुष हूं. ना मैं गृहस्थ हूँ, ना मैं वानप्रस्थ हूँ, ना सन्यासी हूँ, न ब्रह्मचारी हूँ। मैं कौन हूँ? भगवान का दास। तो जब हम इस चेतना में होते हैं तभी हम भगवान की पूजा कर सकते हैं। इसलिए इसको भूत शुद्धि प्रेयर बोलते हैं। ऑल्टर में जाने से पहले प्रेयर करनी पड़ती है, मंदिर में आप करो तो यहाँ नहीं होती। लेकिन आप मंदिर में जाओ, आपको प्रेयर्स करनी पड़ती है। आप जो ना, आप पूजा नहीं कर सकते भगवान की, क्योंकि फिर आप भौतिक हो गए ना। आप भौतिक शरीर से कैसे पूजा करोगे? जब आप स्पिरिचुअल आइडेंटिटी में, तभी आप भगवान की पूजा कर सकते हो। वो मेटल आइडेंटिटी छोड़नी पड़ती है हमको स्पिरिचुअल बन जाने के लिए। अगर वैकुंठा विमान आ जाए और आपको पूछे आप कौन हो, टेस्ट होगा पूरा। जब तक ये नहीं बोलोगे गोपी भट्टे पद में दास दास अनुभव, लेके नहीं जाएगा आपको। और जब तक हम सोचते नहीं ना, बोलेगा भी नहीं उस समय पे, भूल जाएंगे। जब वैकुंठ विमान आपके लिए आ जाएगा तो सबसे पहले टेस्ट होगा तुम हो कौन। ओनली उसका आपने मंत्र पढ़ दिया, गोपी भट्टे पद कमले दास दास अनुदास, तो लेके जाएगा। ये मंत्र भूल गए तो लेके नहीं जाएगा आपको, क्योंकि यू कांट गो विद मेटल आइडेंटिटी टू द स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड। विकास का लास्ट क्वेश्चन। ठीक है, आज काफी क्वेश्चन आंसर आ गए। No, that's what this verse is saying. Even he goes away, no loss. At least that much time he did devotional service. He will again come back. Like Bharat Maharaj, he became a deer, but he repented. Then he became Jat Bharat, developed. So a devotee even goes away, tomorrow, one day he will repent. And again he will take bhakti very seriously. No, then what? Krishna will put him out of devotee association. And he will undergo some suffering. Where he repent upon his Vaishnava path and again will come back. But therefore, better is to make a person first absorb in Brahminical activity. Because when person absorbs in Brahminical activities, fault finding tendency goes away because it's situated in Sattva. Fault finding tendency is due to Rajagun and Tamagun. So raise a person to Sattva, then renunciation becomes easier. Yes. So even when you're engaging a person who become full time, engaging them in a Sattva activity is very important. Doing sadhana, reading Prabhupada books. That Sattva will keep him and avoid him from committing offenses with Vaishnavas. But you engage him in services which give name and fame, that will lead to his fall down. So yeah, anybody who's doing, you have to make him engage to do service to Krishna without fruity breakup. Then he will get purified. Engage in services where he doesn't get appreciation, doesn't get fruitful. Then he becomes stable and stop committing offenses with devotee. That's why engage initially devotees in washing pots, right? When you come to ashram, you should do menial services first. That purifies us. Giving lecture will not purify us. It will go into our head only. There. So initially you have to do all menial services if you want to grow. So Narmani is saying, be responsible but do bhakti, don't worry. So Narmani in this verse is saying, even you're irresponsible, don't worry, just do full-time bhakti. No, if they're full-time engaged in bhakti, then where they will get saved? And that's why that this verse comes. Devarshi bhutata ninam pitrinam. So see, no, 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 no. See, he says, Devarshi bhutata ninam pitrinam nankim karo nayam veni characham Sarvatmanaya sharanam sharanyam gato mukundam paryantakartam. Even in the beginning stage of bhakti, practice of karma is forbidden. Having given up one's dharma, even the beginning stages of bhakti, a person who worships the Lord as the Lord will incur no sin by giving up that dharma because he is worshipping the lotus feet of the Lord. And therefore, anyone who is taking shelter of the Lord of Mukunda, the given devotion, giving up all kinds of obligation, has taken the path in all seriousness. We should take the path of bhakti with seriousness. So after coming to bhakti, he should not be lazy. You get my point? Whatever reason he took to bhakti is another thing. But after coming to bhakti, he should be serious. Neither duties nor obligation of demigods, sages, general dignitaries, family members, humankind, or forefathers. And if the person dies without being qualified to attain the Lord, or while alive, falls down because of sinful act, being attached to material pleasure, even then there is no misfortune incurred by giving up karma. Because the impressions created by bhakti are indestructible and remain in subtle form. Still no loss. That's what Krishna said. In such a state, one should not revert to performance of karma. Is there any misfortune somewhere? No misfortune. Krishna will protect. But sometimes we leave karma to engage in another karma. That becomes problem. I'll give example. If a devotee is joining as a conception, I'll become a very big preacher. Everybody will give me fame and name and fame. So he is actually not taking shelter of Krishna. He is leave up one karma to take another karma. And therefore he fallen, he becomes miserable. But one who has given up karma to do real bhakti, wash pots, do menial seva, read Bhagavatam. For such a devotee, there is no loss. But one who is thinking by renunciation, I'll achieve name and fame. Because he's thinking in a karma way, so he doesn't get the benefit. So what case you are saying are the people who are given one karma to attain another karma. So actually they have never become detached. They have not given up karma only. Whatever he's doing for himself, see, but he should do bhakti yoga. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smandam Pada. Archana Vandam Dasyam. No, even external aspect only. He should do this nine activities. Obviously, he should do it attentively. Na? Okay, so we end here. Okay, any question online? Okay, Grantha Ashwanadanti, Jai Prabhupada.